Slowly kisses busting by the river.
Welcome to another exciting edition of $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And today we delve into sales for the past week and some interesting things that we've sold, some good stories. So pull up a chair and listen and watch and take it away.
All right. I don't know if you remember last time I was talking about Fleer basketball sets. I had sold one that was missing just the Jordans, and they went for $2,600. I had another one that I broke up because I sent some of the stars out to get graded, the rookies, and this was missing 13 cards.
Oh, okay.
No Jordan, no stickers, and it still went for almost $1,700. Wow. So if you can find these cards anywhere, they are hot as a pistol. I mean, I think commons are $10 a piece right now. So they got the red border, 1986 Jordan rookies in there. So definitely, if you see them, scarf them up. The partial set, $1,700 is, 5 years ago it'd probably be $200. It's crazy.
So the stars of the stars are the ones that you took out to be graded?
Yes, yeah. Elijah and Malone, those guys, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, still good money. All right, next moving on. I had one of these as a kid. My dad had a retail toy store, and I had one of these Tommy robots, the Omnibot 2000. Different versions. This was the best one of them all. This was the Cadillac robot of the Tommy line. $1,600. It was in near mint condition, complete with the remote, with instructions. However, it wouldn't power up because the battery was so old.
Okay.
So the gentleman that bought it said, "Hey, I'm going to buy a rechargeable battery that should work. If there's any issues, can I return it? What am I going to say? No." So,
Right.
But it looks like it was hardly ever used. It's just the battery probably got bad with age because you're talking almost 40 years old now. But
And I was with you when you purchased that because I purchased some other things for it. As a matter of fact, somebody told you, find out what they want.
Exactly.
As I remember.
Yeah. Lucky me.
So it was really nice because it was in the box and everything too. That definitely adds a lot of value.
Yeah.
To it.
Hopefully, I won't get sacked $100 for the shipping overcharge. It was oversized, but we'll see what happens. The post office took it, so it'll get there in 2 or 4 months. But moving on, sticking with the basketball theme. I had this for a while. Maybe it was up for a few months. 92, 93 Top Stadium Club members only basketball set. It's got the Shaquille O'Neal Beam Team, Jordan Beam Team. You had to be a Top Stadium Club member to purchase this, and I think back in the day it was like $100. I had people offer me $200, $300, $400, $600 for the last couple months. They generally go for $1,000. It wasn't factory sealed. If it was factory sealed, it could go for $1,500 or more. Everyone's getting these cards graded. I showed close-ups of the two big boys. Finally took a $900 offer on it. So, but you gotta be strong, stay firm with your price, and don't take those low ball offers. Let's see. Moving on, we're gonna stick with basketball again. This is the shocker of the week. Reggie Miller.
Oh.
Fleer dialing long distance cards. 61 of them made. How much does this say?
$510?
Correct. $510 for this card. And it's rare, but not super rare. 61 of them were made. It was a reprint from the 61 basketball set. The scary part is I sold a common for $20 out of this 61 set. And there's big name players in there, and they must not be out there. This is the only one I've ever seen other than the common I have. So, if LeBron's in there or anyone, they got to be thousands and thousands of dollars. If Reggie Miller's $500, there's got to be a couple of people building the set, and they're hard to find, and they're paying top dollar for.
So those were in the packs?
It was an insert. They had a regular reprint 61 set of the new guys, the new players with the 61 look. And then this was a subset rare insert stamped out of 61.
Oh, okay.
So on the back it'll say 37 out of 61, but crazy. I mean, people were offering me $100 for this early on, and then something's up when that happens.
All right.
So,
wow. Well, that's got 31 bids on it.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to find these because I've only found 2 in the last 20 years. So, but it's a super rare Fleer dialing long distance set.
Well, I guess if you have those cards sitting around somewhere, you bought them back in the day. As far as you bought the packs back in the day, check and see if you have one. And if you don't care about the set, if you're not working on it, you don't care about the cards, you don't care about the player, now is the time to sell it.
Absolutely. Definitely. Moving on, now you have to strike while the iron's hot. Sadly, legendary Hank Aaron passed away a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And one of my good customers, repeat customers, selling me stuff all the time, was sitting on some of his autographs. So he came in and sold me a bunch of his stuff, and he made good money quick. I purchased this from him, autographed hats and Milwaukee Braves. It's got 2 certifications, JSA and PSA, and I got the $400 out of it. So very cool.
Now, is it encapsulated in some manner?
It's
or?
just in a protective case, display acrylic case. But I don't know what I paid him for, but I made good money and he made good money. We both probably got more than we thought we would if he sold it, a month ago or 2 months ago.
Right.
So
That's an old school hat too.
yeah, it is very cool piece. So, and lastly, baseball season is around the corner. Yeah, this player is retired. Another one I sat on for a while because I know the going rate was about $300 on this. It's a Derek Jeter autographed rookie card, but it's got a letter from JSA, so it's 100% legitimate. I had people offer me 100, 150, 200, and it's just like, well, everyone else is selling theirs for 300. Why am I going to sell mine for half? It just doesn't make any sense. I think I took 280 on this one. But a very cool card.
So it sounds like a lot of people out there fishing, trying to get it for,
Absolutely, yeah.
You say 150 and you take it because you need the money or whatever the case, or
Sure.
you haven't done your research. They buy it for 150, they flip it for
Yep.
350 or 300, and they make some money on it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know back in the day, you used to be a drummer.
Yes, it was a long time ago.
Long day,
Sure.
but there you go.
Oh, wow.
Who is that?
Carmen Apiece, yeah.
Carmen Apiece, yep. So it doesn't go for a lot. Intuit, a solo for Octoplus, which you probably have heard of. I guess is that a drum brand or Ludwig drums? Octoplus.
Okay, Ludwig, yes. Ludwig, yeah. It sounds like a top-level brand, from Ludwig, sure.
So this literally is just a small piece of sheet music. I looked online. Somebody sold one for $7, whatever. I ended up taking an offer of $10 on it. Just kind of put it up there, though, because I know you used to be a drummer, so I know you get a little smile out of seeing something
I
other like
actually
that.
learned from one of his songbooks. He had, the drumming in there and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, as I did a fair amount of research on it. It was actually kind of hard to find, but they do sell for $7. I was able to get 10.
Nice.
No big deal. But it's something just neat that was kind of thrown in.
Yeah.
It literally opens up. Is all that it is. I mean, it's a very 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10 that opens up. So you can get a lot of these in a pile. So you get something like that just kind of sitting there. Nobody even knows it's there.
Well,
Nobody cares.
Any early drum stuff is really good, actually. Brochures, booklets, anything like that. Pearl, Ludwig, Tama, any of those. If you find them out there, grab them.
Yep. Next thing over here, this is kind of neat. It's been up for years, so I was happy to sell it. But Army versus Navy napkin.
Oh, wow.
From 1990 or 1973. It's a napkin for advertising Philadelphia Medford's Frankfurters, which I'm sure are delightful. But I guess the point of this is a lot of people would just throw it away. And I know that friend of the channel, Auction Professor, a while ago did a show about nothing but placemats. Well, this kind of goes right along with it. Napkins, these were meant to be thrown away. You say, oh, cool, when you look at it. You probably save it for a little while after you get home, and then at some point you throw it away. You said it's a napkin. What am I going to saving? What am I saving it for?
You could use it too.
You can use it. It's got value. It's got a lot of value to it too. But it's got value to it because it's Army versus Navy football games. So football collectors, military collectors, all that kind of things. I have had it listed since 2016. I think I ended up taking a $10 offer on it. Happy to see it go because it's been sitting here for 5 years. But it's something that most people wouldn't even have listed in the first place. You're aware that we are on Instagram, right?
Yes.
You've done a few Instagrams for us.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Well, this is actually something or other that we featured on an Instagram one day. Very interesting piece here. Big Daddy Don Garlett's Fly Navy brochure, drag racing. He basically did some advertisements for the Navy. And the interesting thing about this is a large poster went for about $30. One person put it up and sold the poster for $30. This is just a brochure. It's an 8 by 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11
So he was
brochure.
on a Navy ship drag racing.
I better hope
I
hope that parachute.
I hope those brakes are going to work.
Parachute works real good. But
Swimming with the fishes.
which ties back into the Philadelphia Frankfurters. But anywho, so this Navy collectors are going to want it. Drag racing collectors are going to want it. Just a neat piece altogether. Did get one bid on it and did sell for my price. But I was very happy to get that out of it because the full poster, which was I think 20 by 30, went for $28, $30 for somebody else. So to get that out of a brochure, I'm quite happy with.
Cool.
Next thing over here, keeping with the drag racing theme, Cartoons magazine. I picked these up at a flea market over the summertime. I don't know what I paid, $1.50 each, something other like that. I did get $20. The person ended up buying 3 or 4 of them off of me. They're not that common of an item. They're actually not that common. Any of the drag racing cartoon type magazines definitely will sell. This being no exception. Again, $20 out of a magazine that's 1980s.
Well, that's not even a vintage. That's not even that old.
No,
some from the 60s and 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, so but again, it's a case where there aren't a lot of people selling them.
Right.
So because of that, somebody's working on their collection. They end up
Sure.
seeing this one over here, and they end up picking up 3 of them that they need for their collection. These were high grade also, so that probably helped also.
Very cool.
Next thing we have over here, this is an interesting one because you want to talk about holding your prices. I think I've mentioned this before in a different one. $64.20. Guy offered me $30 on it. Said, that's all it's worth.
Of course, sure.
So I mentioned to him, I said, well, yeah, it's great. More or less, you're entitled to your opinion. Thank you. Hope you can find another one. He came back about 2 or 3 weeks later, offered me $45 on it. I was willing to take $45 on it. Move it on out. I'm happy with that. I made some money on it.
Yeah.
He was from Boston, the person that purchased it, so I believe he's buying it because of the marathon. Probably collects marathon items.
Yeah.
Could be collecting Jack London as well. I don't know. But it's actually a very rare magazine out there as well. So I was happy to get $45 out of it. I did make some money on it. But that's where I could have taken the 30. I could have believed that he knew what he was talking about when he said, oh, that's all that it's worth. But my research had showed that there are not a lot of this title out there to start with. I don't know if you've ever seen this title before. No. So do stand by your prices. Don't let people tell you what the things are worth. You're the one that's telling them what it's worth in a lot of these cases. Right. Next thing over here we have is an artist.
Thank you.
Well, yes, you as well. It's a chance to own some artwork by somebody famous. Best in Children's Books, number 5, Andy Warhol art. $34. That tends to be on the high level of what they go for. They usually, it does have the dust jacket, which does help. Without a dust jacket, you can look at $15 to $20 out of it. With a dust jacket, you're probably looking closer to $25 to $30 for it. I did get a little bit on the high end for it, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
I believe there were 6 different ones that Andy Warhol did art in. When he first got out, he got a job, and he did a little bit of children's art on there. Cool. If you look online, you can find the numbers of the book. Number 5, obviously, is one of them. And you can find them out there, and a lot of people don't know about them. You will absolutely find these out there, and you'll be paying $1 to $2 a piece on them. No doubt whatsoever about it. So do keep this one in mind. And this one sold fairly quickly. It sold within a year. A lot of times you may have to sit on it for a couple of years in order to get your price. But do market it as Andy Warhol, and you will sell it. And speaking of art, last item we have here is something or other I picked up at a heritage auction. And we've shown you things from various heritage auctions. This one I did not show you. It just came in. And I listed it. A couple of different reasons why I listed it. I ended up making about $50 all said and done on the item. Durant Auto Distributors logo, original art, Edgar Church Mile High Collection.
Wow.
Edgar Church was a commercial artist. He collected comic books as well. The famed Mile High Collection came about because they were his comics.
Wow, very cool.
So some of his artwork has made it out there. Well, when I saw this up at Heritage, I said, people are going to want it who want Edgar Church, and people are going to want it who want Durant Auto. Put it up, got an offer of it. I believe I took $175 on it. Very happy with that. Moved pretty quickly. Moved it on out, made $50 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Funny thing about it, the person that purchased it from me never heard of Edgar Church. He was buying it because he had a couple of other items. If you look on it, I think it's like Rollo Motors or something like that. They apparently were based in Denver, Colorado, which I did a bunch of research and was not able to find that. I was not able to find where they were located at. Otherwise, I would have done Denver, Colorado, et cetera, et cetera. Sure. Makes sense, though, because that's where Edgar Church lived at. He lived in Denver as well. So he got work for this Rollo automobile in order to, to do their Durant advertisements. Yeah. The gentleman who purchased from me had a couple of other items from that dealership. So he was actually buying it for the dealership side of things, not because of the Edgar Church name.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those holy grail kind of things when you can get multiple collecting interests.
Yeah.
Somebody else may have seen this and said, oh, I want to have a piece of Edgar Church original art because he's so important to the comic book world, et cetera, et cetera. This other guy didn't know who Edgar Church was, had no idea whatsoever. So I emailed him or, messaged him back and said, do a little research on it. And he said, oh, very cool, because he didn't know that. So now he's got an extra little story with his piece in his collection. But when you do see something or other like this, think outside the box. Don't just be, oh, it's Edgar Church or, oh, it's this, because I sold it to somebody who didn't care if my grandmother drew it.
Right.
Well, he might have cared because she might not have done very well on it. Sure. But, the Durant Auto is what sold it. The other nice thing about it is it's original art. It's one of a kind. I priced it originally at $224, took $175 on it. I could have priced it at any number I wanted because it was original art.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that over the last few years, I think both of us have come to realize, if it's one of a kind, why give it away at $100 or $120? There's no reason to do so because it's worth more than that. And this gentleman is very happy with what he bought. I'm happy I made a few dollars. He's very happy with what he bought. It's win-win. Whoever can sign it to Heritage, I expect, is happy. Heritage made their money. Everybody along the way is very, very happy, and this gentleman has a great piece for his collection.
Sure.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight, gives you a couple of things to look for out there. Do hit the like button if you could. Comment down below. We always love to hear about your finds, love to hear about your questions, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.